Hi, this is Julie Glass, and this short video will talk a little bit about what classes are going to look like on semesters. So first of all, how do we go from quarter units to semester units? Is a very simple math problem. So quarter units can be converted to semester units by multiplying by 2/3, and semester units can be converted to quarter units by multiplying by 1.5, which is 3/2, the reciprocal of 2/3. Here's a little bit more specific information. If you are used to teaching a 4-unit quarter course, that meets for 40 hours, in quotation marks, over the length of a quarter, which is, and a quarter hour is 52.5 minutes, whereas a three semester unit course meets for 45 hours over the course of a semester, and each hour, in quotation marks, is 50 minutes. So practically speaking, you have about 150 minutes extra when you're teaching a 3-unit semester course versus the 4-unit quarter course. And then if your department has 4 semester unit courses, then you're on your own. You can look at that calculation. So when you want to think about the course of an entire term, of course a quarter is 10 weeks versus a semester being 15 weeks. So if you give maybe 2 summative assignments, 2 summative examinations throughout a quarter, those are 2.5 weeks apart or 3 weeks apart versus over a semester where they're 5 weeks apart. So again, thinking about how that time is distributed for your students and for yourself. Here's a little graphic. This first picture here represents the 10 weeks of a quarter, each with 4 hours in them, so each stack is 1 week. And when we move to semesters, of course, we have 3 hours per week, so each of those stacks will be reduced by 1 hour, so those new hours go and pile up in our new weeks. So this is what it will look like. Remember, a semester is 15 weeks. And then you'll see that those red squares don't really fill the whole 15 weeks, so those little green squares are our quote-unquote new extra time. And this is what your semester looks like. Those blue squares and the red squares are from the original quarter hours, now distributed differently over the weeks, and the green hours are new hours. What about out-of-class time? Remember that if a student is taking a 4-unit quarter course, they're expected to spend, say, 2 to 3 hours out-of-class time per unit, which is 8 to 12 hours out-of-class time per week, versus a 3-unit semester course at 2 to 3 hours out-of-class time is 6 to 9 hours per week. So your students have fewer hours out of class per week to dedicate to your particular course. So here's a greater picture of it. If you're looking at a full load for a student under quarters, those 4 lines there are the 4 classes that they take for a full load. A quarter unit full load is 16 units. So your class would be approximately 1/4 of the student's overall workload, versus under semesters where they have 5 sets of stacks, 5 courses for 15 semester units. So your class is only 1/5 of the student load. And similarly for your own workload, of course, but this is from a student perspective. So again, just keeping in mind what reasonable expectations are for your students outside of class. I hope this was helpful. Thanks.